Well, I have one more question for you, and then we're going to open it up to the audience for questions. So I hope that right now you are working on your burning questions that you need to ask as your homework. But the last question I have for you, I did not prep you on this question, so if you don't have an answer, it's okay. But you know, I know at the beginning of my career, I had no interest in work-life balance. But as we do this for a while, how do you manage work-life balance?
Wow, good question. There are times I feel like I'm semi-retired, so when I finish a film, I can choose not to do another project. So I'll take some time off. So that's a nice thing. But it's really hard when you do a movie. Your entire life is that movie. But it's a joyful thing for me at least. So I don't view it as work or anything that's drudgery. But it's basically work and sleep and maybe a couple hours on the weekend or something. So I don't know how you reach balance, but maybe that's what I was born to do. I guess I'm I love it. So, and I don't have a family. Maybe as a child, you'll have to speak to that. But,
Interestingly enough, people don't want to hire you for this pregnant, and I was on Foxcatcher, pregnant out to Kingdom Come. Nobody knew because I didn't tell anybody, because I had people that came before me advise me not to, which I regret, and I wish I had told people. But I was afraid of losing my job, which I did when everybody found out. And it's technically not losing it, it's just not getting that first call anymore because I think you can't pick stuff up. So you can, ladies, you can. It changed a lot, and I was lucky enough that a prop master I worked 4 years earlier was working on House of Cards, and because Kevin Spacey had this need, and once again I filled the hole that was there to fill. She called me up and said, "Hey, you want to do graphics?" I said, "I'm not a graphics person. I'm not trained in graphics. I don't know what I'm doing." She said, "Oh, you'll figure it out. Here, I'm sending you a bunch of stuff," which parlayed eventually into 4 seasons of House of Cards, in my pajamas, in my living room, with a computer, on call, 24 hours a day, whenever they were shooting. And they compensated me very nicely for being on call with them. But I would get phone calls from them. We need all the contents of the nuclear football. We need 16 things from the FBI. We need a bunch of CIA stuff. So I had to do research with my college degree. Had to be connecting with people, learning stuff, figuring out how to do it, and it all had to be camera ready because it was David Doberman Fincher. And so everything had to be perfect. And luckily I had this nice little buffer between Pennsylvania and Maryland, where I was going through my boss, and I keep forgetting my camera's on. Anyway, but yeah, so I got this great job. It turned into like a full-time thing for 4 years, which kind of got me through the little people stage. And then she went to school, and I'm like, geez, I really, and then she did this thing, which is a whole different panel. But and we all lost our job, so so I had to find work, and I had to go back, and I had this really terrifying experience of going back on set, which was really horrifying. And I found out an interesting thing, which, speaking to work-life balance, as it turns out, if you're good at your job and you work well with people, they don't forget you, and you can hop right back in. And I've been getting calls ever since, and it turned out on me today. I was so excited. But yeah, and that's the work-life balance. It's taken me like 45 years to figure out how to balance it, because I love this job so much. I've got this great husband who was locations, and now he's a teacher, so he gets it. He's really cool and supportive. I've got this amazingly resilient child, but I've got to figure out how not to miss that, because I've lost so many friends over the years because they just got tired of waiting for me. And my biggest advice would be to be really good at your job when you're on it, but to remember sometimes you have to be off of it. But that couple months off is great. So yeah, life is like, don't miss life working. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because when you're young, I played sports a lot when I was young, high school and college, right? And the fun part is that when you're in something like sports, you can do it for free. Like, it's just, doing it so much, right? Type thing. So interesting, when you find out that you're way too small and slow to play your sport at anything beyond college, then you sit there and you actually start thinking about the other things that you love. And for me, I loved writing, like you wouldn't believe. I loved writing. Didn't know it at the time really too much, but I loved writing, loved films, loved broadcasting, all those fun things. And I guess the best way to say it is, it reminded me of what we do is very much like when I played sports, because there's a discipline involved, but it's also a team thing. You're not an individual, and if you have one woman or one guy on a team that stinks at what they do, guess what happens to you? You get the crap beat out of you, you lose. And so everybody that's on a film set, it doesn't matter if it's gap or it doesn't matter, they have to be great at what they do, or everything's bad. Same thing in a television production. If you have one person doing a replay that's not good, well, it's a horrible production. It's going to be a horrible production. And so it has that team element that I always loved and craved. So it's not only a passion, but it filled that whole competitive element for me because of the team aspect of not letting somebody else down, that you're all in it together, all those things. And I love that element of collaboration about it. As far as the balance goes, yes, it's extraordinarily demanding. Now, I got a 13-year-old. Imagine that, right? I got a 13-year-old, but he's very, very good at his sport. And so I get to see that whole world all over again. So all the stuff that I didn't do, like with sports or that I had a chance to do, I get to relive it. And so luckily, I incorporate myself as much as I can. And then I'll tell you one last thing. Let's get other questions. And this is the truth. I just told two of my students. Actually, and that is, because I saw the guy speak about this, so we'll go into the details of it. But he said something that crystallized my philosophy. And he was saying about it's real famously, he said, I own time. And I thought, what an arrogance, this right? But he wanted to explain what that meant. And he said, I set my alarm for 5:30 in the morning. And like everybody else, I roll over at 5:12 and go, oh, it's 5:12. He said, but most people sit there and go, I've got 18 extra minutes of sleep. What he said was, I get up right away because now I got 18 extra minutes for my day. And I don't know how I'm going to use it. I'm not going to use it right now, but somewhere during the day, I got 18 extra minutes. And if you keep adding that up every day of the week, whether it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 12 minutes, and you have that philosophy on what time is, well, at the end of the week, you have an hour plus. That's extra emails. That's getting extra work done. That's actually going at your pace. You control time. Time doesn't control you. You control time. And because of that, I always feel that I have time to do everything I want to do, especially time with my family. And so that's my philosophy of doing everything. And then it also makes me believe that I've had a whole bunch of great careers. I'm the luckiest guy in the planet. And that being said, I've had a chance to do all those things because I've had the time to do it. So that's my way to balance things out, is that sleep stuff's overrated because I get to do what I want to do.
Great answers, everyone. Let's open the floor to questions. Does anybody have any questions?